सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शंकरं लोकशंकरं। शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ओम। There are few more questions, so I think I'll deal with it first, and then we'll see. Should we have time, then we may take up the mantra. Or so here is a question. As per the rule, Gayatri Mala Mantra Japa is to be done in the morning. If done in the afternoon, does it give its fruits or blessings? There is no rule that if you do karma, you don't get phala. So when you do any Vedic karma, there will be phala, good or bad, punya or papam, whatever you do, phala will certainly come. Na bhuktam kshiyate karma kalpa koti shataihiyam. Even after millions of kalpas, you can say millions of years, the phalam will come. So it is not true to think that there is no phalam of Gayatri Mantra if done in the afternoon. In fact, there is a mandate to do in afternoon. When you do Trikala Sandhya, morning, noon and evening, the anga of Sandhya. Sandhya is a Udaka Kriya, the karma done with Udaka. That Udaka Kriya is accompanied by Japa, Gayatri Japa. One must do 10 malas, morning, afternoon and evening. So, it is the question, does it give its fruit or blessings in the afternoon? Doesn't arise at all, because Veda itself mandates that you should do in the afternoon. This feeling comes because we are alienated from Sandhya Vandanam and Gayatri Japa, the whole society as a whole. Though it's not a right way to compare, but just to make you understand. Like a person is baptized to be a Christian. To be Hindu means one must have Yagnopavita. Hindu's life is a life with fire. Sahayagna praja sruštva purovacha prajapati. The whole life is to be lived with fire, Agni. Even marriage is for that fire ritual. The word Patni grammatically also comes from the word Pati. And the very definition, the sutra, in that it is Patyuhu Nitya Yagna Sanyoge Na Adesha Syat. That Pati becomes Patni. Now there is added, and takara is half. That sutra is the one who is nitya yagna sanyoga, who joins the man, a person or a husband for doing rituals is patni. So yagnarthe patni. Marriage is also for yajna. Birth is also yajna. And death is also yajna. So Hindu life is lived with rituals, fire rituals. And to perform any fire ritual, one ought to have yagnopavitam, that upavitam, which gives one adhikara to perform the fire rituals. And the moment one has yagnopavitam, from that day onwards, you get that adhikara, but there is a duty. What's a duty? The person ought to perform Sandhya Vandanam daily. Sandhya. Sandhya means conjunction, union, joining. So morning Sandhya, afternoon and evening. Thrice one has to do, there is a small ritual to be done with the water, for hardly 10 minutes. And Gayatri Japa. As an anga, part of Sandhya Vandanam is Gayatri Japa. And that one must perform, do Japa daily till one dies. Thrice a day. Today we hardly find anybody doing Sandhya, much less Gayatri Japa. And so slowly, there are sampradayas in India who don't even give Yagnopavita. One of the important samskara among the Shodasa samskara is Yagnopavita. In fact, without Yagnopavitam, one cannot marry. Marriage is fire ritual. So to get married, one must have a Yagnopavita. And that one should continue wearing throughout the life. And even to do Agni Samskara to father or mother who died, parents dies, and then that fire ritual you perform. To do that also one should have Yagnopavita. I don't know whether you remember, some of you, when Rajiv Gandhi, our Rahul Gandhi, the great leader, his father passed away. They didn't have Yagnopavitam. Which Varna he belongs to is a question, because his mother married to Parsi and then got a son, and the son married to Italian. And what kind of son it is, Bhagavan only knows. So when they perform for vote bank issues and in image, when he was assassinated, they performed his Anteshti, the final rituals, as per the Hindu tradition. Though this fellow is Christian, but they perform as per Hindu tradition. And to light that father's fire, the Brahmanas in Delhi made him wear, temporarily they gave him Yagnopavita. You can Google if this, it may be there. There is Yagnopavitam on his kurta. So marriage, some of the marriage invitations you may find even today. If the Brahmana who is thorough, who is going to get married, this couple, he would insist. So on such a X date, there is a marriage, you may get another invitation. On the previous day, there is a Yagnopavitam of that groom. That boy is given Yagnopavitam previous day, because you cannot perform this fire ritual without this. And as I said, that part of it is thrice Sandhya Vandanam and thrice Gayatri Japa one must do. And though someone has not asked, I would like to add the need for Gayatri Japa. All of you better start doing this. Gayatri mantra has only this meaning. The other words in the whole mantra are either adjectives or adverbs. It will be a clause. Tat savituhu bhargaha naha diyaha prachodayat. It's a prayer to sun, Surya Devata, but not Devata, Lord Vishnu in the form of Surya. Okay? Sun, Surya symbolizes Vishnu. In Sandhya Vandanam, there is a shloka. He sada savitru madhya mandala varti narayana sarasijasana sannivishtaha keyuravan makara kundala kiriti hari, etc. So Narayana is in the Surya Mandala. So it's an embodiment because Narayana sustains the world, sustains the Srishti, and it is sun that sustains in a way. All bioenergies are only bioenergy through sun only. So there is a prayer for Surya Devata and Vishnu. What's a prayer? This is only sentence. Naha diyaha prachodayat. May he guide our buddhi. May he prompt our buddhi. Human life is nothing but series of decisions. That's it, exactly like driving. Every stage you decide, buddhi plays the role. Even in it starts in day-to-day life, in morning also, there is a decision. Therefore, there are two words, waking up and getting up, One may wake up but not get up. And because therefore there is a bed tea available to get up from the bed. So waking up, getting up is a decision. What to start with our daily chore is a decision. What to eat, how to eat, when to eat, what to do, what not to do, what to wear, what not to wear. Every time, buddhi pradhana, there is a decision. And often decisions are drawn with very limited data. Neither you have time to ponder over or analyze, nor you have enough data. And you just take a decision and proceed. That is where grace, that you have, when you look back in your life and find that you took some decision, this karma phala manifests as buddhi nishchaya. Some punya is there, that Ishvara sitting inside. Ishvara sarva bhutanam ruddheshirjuna tishtati. Brahmayan sarva bhutani yantra rudhani maya. Is that puppet master, pulling the strings of the puppets, that Bhagavan Krishna says in Gita. I am there sitting in the heart and guiding the people, the jivas, like puppets. How, when there is a strong karma, there is a freedom for jiva. But when there is a strong karma phala, that freedom goes by that decision. You dislike marriage is a decision. It's a karma phala. Doing this job or that job is a decision. Buying this house or that house is a decision. All karma phala, Ishwar Krupa. When you look back, you find, oh, I took a right decision. Or I made a mistake. Especially in the matter of spouse. You didn't know the person when you got married. After 15, 20 years, you look back and then discover, oh, there is some grace flowing, that I decided on this guy or this person. Or there is some papa flowing, whatever may be the prarabdha. But that Ishvara prompts the decision. So you seek grace of Ishvara for proper buddhi. And Krishna Bhagavan talks this, if you analyze Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, that Karma Yoga section, Karmanyavadhikaraste, Bhagavan, remember this, though the Karma Yoga word is very popular nowadays, what we call karma yoga, Bhagavan refers it as buddhi yoga. Buddhau sharamanvichya krupana phalayetava buddhi yukto jahatiha ubhe sukrita dushkrita tasmad yoga yujyasva yoga karma sukopsalam karmajam buddhi yukta hi phalam tyakva manishana etc. etc. All these shlokas he uses the word buddhi. Proper attitudes born out of proper understanding. Let's say yoga. Anyway, Gnanam is also buddhi yoga. Yo, in the 6th chapter, Arjuna, yoyam yoga stvaya yog prokta sammena madhusudana. That samatva buddhi is yoga. What is that samatva buddhi? Sarva bhutastamatmanam sarva bhutani chatmani yomam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati etc. is a buddhi yoga. So, to study Shastra, you need a clean and sharp and subtle intellect. That is yoga, necessary. Subtle intellect is necessary, which can see the meanings of the teachings. You have to see through. There is a very subtle difference in certain sentences, certain vakyas, certain mantras, and that one should see it. Otherwise, a typical Hindi belt, some are professional satsangis. They go to satsanga daily. and when there is a satsanga in English, those old ladies don't understand English. They are illiterate. I mean, they didn't have exposure to it. They never had a need for it. So I asked them, when Swamiji's lecture was there, and I asked them, Mataji, समझ में आता है? बोले मोटा मोटा आ जाता है. Big things I can understand. I said, मोटा मोटा मतलब क्या? हाँ, गुरुजी बोले आत्मा, ब्रह्म, सच्चिदानंद वो समझ में आ जाता है. But what context did he say? In which reference did he say? And in which sentence did he say? She doesn't see that. So that is called mota mota samajh mein aata hai. So if you know English and listen to Swami, some of people have to say, the typical, I have seen those in Tamil Nadu. What a class. What a class. But what was a class? Great class. Ask him few questions, no answer. Ask him something, no, doesn't know. It was a great class. That is called mota mota samajh mein aata. That subtlety of buddhi is gained through Gayatri Japa. Clarity about our priorities. In Shastric jargon, it is called Purushartha Nishchaya. This is it that I want. This is the priority. Everything is subservient. Everything else is just supportive to this. Moksha is a goal. That comes through japa. Gayatri japa. And under clarity to see the meanings of the Shastra, to see those words, subtle differences also through Gayatri japa. I am not telling what Shastra says. This is there, but I am telling from my own experience. And I have seen a couple of people. There was one German guy with a Khandani. He didn't know any language except German. The poor boy, when somehow some Purva Punya landed in India, he became a good friend of mine later on. And then so that Akhandanji put him on Gayatri Anushthan, gave him Yagnopavitam. He said, I want to study Shastra and Moksha. He said, we'll see that later. Do Purascharanam. he asked him to do 24 lakhs of Gayatri Japa. And that fellow, after that I had seen, was quoting not mantras but bhashyas left and right. He would quote Shankar Bhashya in the discussion. Not only he could converse in Sanskrit. Like that I have seen 3-4 people regularly doing Gayatri, including I myself and Swami Paramatmananda. I know that. When he was a brahmachari, he never missed that. I have seen that. And Swamiji himself also. So, though it is not asked, but I wish all of you should take out the time and do Gayatri Japa regularly. Just sit quiet and do that Japa. And some puja is necessary, Shivapasana for Vairagya, etc. So chanting of Rudram and Durga Suktam, Meda Suktam, etc. It not simply helps, it accelerates the process of learning because it helps primarily in gaining necessary frame of the mind for Shastra knowledge. You can be there quickly. Yes, yesterday was a question. I am still not there. It's okay. I take it easy. If not this janma, next janma. First of all, you trust Bhagavad Vakya. Bhagavan in the 6th chapter tells this. Nahi kalyana krut kaschit durgatim tat kachit. Once you have a purushartha nishchaya, once you have had a guru who knows Shastra, and you surrender to the guru with proper attitude of Shraddha, as we saw, because that is a pramana. And then you had a Shravanam, and that if you can't make it the goal, ayati Shraddhayo peta, either your efforts were not enough, or you just couldn't do because of lack of resources, internal resources in terms of Antakarana Shuddhi, etc. Bhagavan guarantees. Next janma will be some other Paramatmananda, Dayananda will be there around. And whether you are born in India or US or Brazil or Argentina, you will be stuck with that Ananda. And you will go. The journey will continue where you have left. It's a promise. So, coming back to this, it's very important to do japa in our culture. If you don't have Guru Mantra, or even if you have at least one mala minimum of Gayatri, since we got alienated from Sandhya Vandanam, then people said that do one mala in the morning. And that's how this question comes, because they don't do in the morning also, some of them. And therefore they ask the efficacy, whether can I do it in the afternoon or not. So you can restructure your daily routine, or you have to do some time management. I have 10 minutes every day in the morning before I start my daily chore, I do this puja. If it is you're a homemaker and children around and you have to do have something to do in a time frame, then do it, but then later on. But that structure should be there basically. Anyway, and it's very important. You see, the worst papam in the human life is you take a wrong decision, improper decision. Whole Ramayana can be reduced by 2 wrong decisions. One by Dasharatha, giving a blank check to Kaikeyi, which nobody should give. I give you Bunyas. And second, Ravana. Just a wrong, I want Sita. That brought the whole destruction of the whole clan of Asuras. Mahabharata also is the same thing. In fact, Duryodhana telling this, Janami dharmam nachame pravrutti. I know what is to be done, but I cannot commit. Janami adharmam nachame nivrutti. It's a wrong decisions. So, buddhi not strong enough or clear enough about the priorities, takes different calls that using a grace, and therefore Gayatri Japa becomes important. Coming one more question. Another question. Please progress. During the studies, Pranam Swamiji, I understood and practiced that all my roles, wife, daughter, mother, is equal to I, but I is not equal to all these roles. But I am unable to detach from my role of a student with I. I feel aikya of the role and the I. Kindly make me understand the above. What is to be understood? There is aikya that you know between the student and I. So anyway, I'll explain. I think the point is, how can you be detached in this role, or why I am so one with the role? That may be question, I guess. So I'll explain. First of all, please understand what do we mean by detachment. Okay? Detaching from the role doesn't mean that not playing the role or not playing it sincerely or not involving in the role. You can as well involve. If the role necessitates, get involved into it. Detaching is here. Detaching also is not to be done. Please understand, we have not to detach. That you will find yourself detached. This is like vairagya. People say, I cannot give up. You have not to give up. It should drop off from you. Okay? What is vairagya? When it drops off. Like all your childhood toys and the games have dropped off from you. You no more want to play. Even if you play, you are not attached to that game. There is a space here within yourself. So why? Because you are aware as to who are you. That identity, which identity? The grown-up I is so established in a way. You are so clear about that grown-up I that you no more get carried away by those games and things like that. So, to live in the awareness of who am I is detachment. It is a fallout. Since with reference to attachment, we say Atma is detached. But that's not its Swarupa Lakshanam. It's a Tatastha Lakshanam. We find ourselves being attached to few things and then our body-mind complex, etc., doership, etc. So we say Atma is detached. But Atma is neither detached nor attached. It is just an illuminator. Even the ego is illumined by the consciousness. The jiva is also illumined by the consciousness. So, detachment means to live in the awareness of who am I. I am this, akarta, bhokta, and you play the role. Like actor plays the role. Sometimes gets so involved that tears become real tears. If he or she has to cry, they really give out the tears. If they have to laugh and enjoy, sometimes it becomes too real on the stage. That's fine. And they have that space within that I am not this. Now, when it comes to Guru-Shishya relationship, it's safer to be attached. And it's better to be attached. But this relationship accelerates your process of internal growth. It accelerates your Shraddha. And Shraddhavan labhate jnana. In Guru Seva, though it is not in a way direct pramanam for knowledge. Direct pramanam is Shastra Upadesha. When taught by a competent teacher, the truth is revealed. But then it is so powerful a secondary means that there are so many examples in the history. Just by Guru Seva, they got the knowledge. Not just by Guru Seva, it means Guru Seva prepared the person so well that a few sentences of Upadesha clicked and a person could see the truth and own up the truth easily. So, this better don't think also that I am too involved in this role and I get attached to this role. Nothing wrong in it. Continue. But don't limit to that role. Okay? There are people who just think that Guru Seva is ultimate and they don't study Shastras. Even with Puja Swamiji, I have seen some people so closely serving him, but never come to the class. never do any satsanga. When they keep doing Seva, and when the Swamiji goes to class, they tell, Abba, now I got a break. This is Seva is meant for that. Then they say, I got a break. And then they go around, go to kitchen and have a cup of tea and all kinds of things. I have seen those people. So, doing Guru Seva, playing a role of a Shishya is important. But don't limit yourself to that and make sure that you study Shastra. And of course, this will not happen in our tradition, hopefully. But the word of caution, I would like to say, remember that Guru is not a person. Okay? Guru represents the whole tradition. Guru is an embodiment of whole tradition. Whole Rishi Parampara, he or she embodies. So, be attached to Guru, but not to the personality of Guru. When you get attached to the personality of Guru, then you may unknowingly start comparing different Gurus. And that too, it is good to compare and see the teachings of different Mahatmas so that you may not get into some Ashrotriya Mahatmas lectures. That's fine. But then when you keep comparing the personality, you operate at a different level. And that would be detrimental. So, nothing wrong in that. Please continue doing it. It will drop off one day. Even you will not come to know how it went on. Okay? So, it will take care of it itself. There is one more question. Please explain the meaning of Amayantu Brahmina Swaha that is chanted in Rishikesh temple during the puja. This is from Taittiriya Upanishad, Krishna Yajurveda mantra. It is a prayer from a guru to Ishvara for maintaining the tradition, for maintaining the parampara of this knowledge. So there is a prayer that may I have, that mantra is not Brahmanaha, Brahmacharina. Amayantu Brahmacharina Swaha, Vimayantu Brahmacharina Swaha, Pramayantu Brahmacharina Swaha, Damayantu Brahmacharina Swaha, Shamayantu Brahmacharina Swaha, Yasho Janesani Swaha, Shreyan Vasya Sosani Swaha, Tantva bhagah pravishani swaha sama bhagah pravisha swaha tasmin sahasra shakhe nibagaham tai mruje swaha, etc. These mantras are there. Brahmacharinaha ayantu mam. That's a prayer. That's a prose order. May brahmacharis come unto me. I have the knowledge, but then I want to pass on this knowledge to right adhikari. The gurus take upon themselves a kartavya that I maintain the tradition, this unbroken chain of Guru Shishya Parampara. Each guru handed over this knowledge and the methodology to his shishya, etc. And that has come down to me. May it continue to the next generation. And so may brahmacharis with dhamma, shama, prama, proper intellect, may come to me. Even Yamraja, when Nachiketas asked the question and he taught him, and he saw Nachiketa's utterances and replies, that he understood it very clearly. And seeing his vairagya, seeing his readiness for the knowledge, seeing his firm resolve for moksha, purushartha nishchaya, nanyat etad varanam trutiyam varam vrune, very specifically said, this is my third boon that I am asking. And Nachiketa said, I don't, nanyam varam nachiketo vrunite. You have been offering, but I don't want that. I want that only moksha vidya. Seeing that, Yamraja says, Twadrungna bhuya nachiketa prashta. Twadruk, like you, bhuyat, may we have prashta, disciples like you. So, Guru is also happy to have a disciple who is committed to moksha, committed with Shraddha. And when that, why he is happy? Because the Guru sees that here is someone who can hold the knowledge, who can be imparted the knowledge, who can continue this unbroken chain of Guru Shishya Parampara, and in turn will pass on to his or her disciple. So that's a prayer. Our Rishikesh Ashram, as you know, had been a center for learning and teaching Brahma Vidya. So they pray in the temple daily. May right kind of seeker come to this ashram for knowledge. Okay? That's mantras are chanted at the time of Aarti. Swamiji, one of my conflict is between playing my enjoined roles as a son, husband, brother, father, uncle, etc. on one hand, by meeting their expectations, while on the other hand, practicing vairagya, which beckons me to drop my own desires to fulfill those roles to their satisfaction. Inherent conflicts between different roles makes this more challenging because different roles sometimes have contradictory expectations. How do I resolve this conflict? Very good question. I do appreciate, because I myself have gone through, and this is a natural fallout when which beckons me to drop my own desires to fulfill those roles to their satisfactions. So when you fulfill, and more so sincerely fulfill your roles, and then you try to be an ideal role player in a given role as a son or a father or a daughter or a mother or wife or husband, whatever, obviously it is very demanding. Just one role is demanding and you are wearing so many hats in samsara. Each one who is in samsara has to wear hats. So when you try to play ideally all the roles, you feel that you are drained out. And you keep on compromising or sacrificing your own wishes and wills and all that. And sometimes still there is no sense of satisfaction or fulfillment on the part of the beneficiary of your role. You feel hurt and there is a pain. I do appreciate that. But one thing you can consider, it is endless. Demands in a given role is endless if you are trying to meet their expectations. What happens? More you play your role sincerely, other person tends to lean over you. And they become more dependent and ultimately more demanding. Role playing, fulfilling our duties is like providing crutches to others, emotional crutches or economical crutches or social crutches, whatever it is, the relation and the demand of the role. But that crutches are meant to make that person independent, first of all. And if you find that person is day by day, is more dependent, analyze. His or her expectations are increasing. That means you have not drawn the boundary and the ideal role playing has just worked the other way. Crutches are meant to give strength to the legs to be on their own, not to lean or not to depend on the crutches forever. And so somewhere one has to learn to draw a boundary in playing the role. More so, that is true with everybody, even children. At the age of 25 also, they behave like 5-year child. Especially I have seen girls, and they come home and demand from mom and then tell all kinds of things to mother, like a 5-year-old baby, because all frustration and pain in the college, university is dumped on mother. They become that young and they want that. So somewhere, and same thing happens with the old people. They keep more dependent and invoking a sympathy that I have become old. This is a typical Indian problem. In West, people remain independent. They just don't expect the children. That is another extreme. But here for small things in the name of Matrudeva Bhava, Pitrudeva Bhava, they keep demanding and then create a guilt and a hurt in the mind of a son or a daughter, whoever it is, because too much demanding. Our Shastras are very clear. Not only you have to draw boundaries in roles, you have to draw boundary in playing the role itself. Therefore, there is ashrama called Vanaprastha ashram. Vanaprastha ashram, first of all, as I said, in a given role, please draw certain boundaries about their expectations, about your picture of ideal I, the successful, socially successful I, or self-satisfied I, from the social perspective, if I play this role in this way, that you have to restructure and limit. At the same time, after a certain age, when we had a Vanaprastha ashram, person gave up all the roles, including of husband and wife. The 7th vow of the Saptapadi, by which the marriage is completed, is Sakha Bhava, Sakhi Bhava. After taking to Vanaprastha ashram, They live a life of just a friends living together. So I guess, since I don't know where exactly the question comes from, but one need to restructure your script of the roles, first thing. And you have to restructure your list of the roles. That is again just another extreme in the Western worlds. Once the child grows up and goes to university, they are so independent. The parent doesn't play any role in their life. They leave it to them. Sometimes our sensitivity, our empathy, our maturity becomes problem to ourselves. Some people are so empathetic and so sensitive. And of course, with a successful life, whatever they had, they can see through what is good for the other person. So in playing a given role, sometimes we get into driver's seat. We start driving someone's life. No, that's not correct. True, what you see is a truth, and what you know is the right way. But that person himself has to grow to see. Other person as a child, up to some teenage, they may listen to you and follow you. Otherwise, leave them, let them discover those things. What is good for them. You have to be more of a suggestive and supportive, not controlling in the role. So the conflict comes sometimes because I had the same thing. You get into driver's seat out of your sensitivity, out of your love. As Swamiji used to say, the love should not become a control. When you love somebody, you unknowingly try to control other person. In a typical Indian, they say, I am telling you out of love only. Out of love only I am getting angry upon you. Out of love only I am insisting upon you. But that doesn't, I appreciate your love, but you don't have right to get angry upon me. You don't have right to keep on controlling all the time. I see, even I myself am a victim of this. Okay? And people love me so much. Sometimes when I'm eating or doing something, people start, Swamiji, don't do that. No, you will. I'm already reaching my 70. I know what to do, what not to do. But they try to control me. I can see the love and I have a two-step response and I honor them. And since I have inner space, I can afford to do that. But then out of love, we may transgress our script, and rather than helping become controlling, that may create some conflict. And sometimes I do agree the life is full of conflicting roles. Life is never black and white. There is always gray. In every situation, you have to respond either in one of the roles, as a father or a friend or a son or a daughter or a husband or a wife or a mother, etc., whatever. And that time, things doesn't go the way you wish to be or way it should be, and you get pain over there, leave it to Ishvara. Sometimes trust the other person. One person may be right, and just flow with the situation. Don't, it's samasti prarabdha. Even if it is wrong, just let it flow and grow situation may grow. And people, often I see they don't need you that much as you think I am required, I learned a very hard lesson just last week only. We had one cow, Ganga, the oldest one. She was with us for last 10 years. And she's developing some complications and getting old. And then a couple of doctors suggested she needs to move around and eat certain things. And we can't, in a city, we don't have space for the cow grazing. So one of the Swami I know, and he treats me as his elder brother and has some 100 acres in the Girnar. So I suggested him, and he wanted it. I said, if you don't mind, you keep her and let us see. I mean, I don't want to dump her to you. I'll take it back, but I need her to be given to you for some time and take it. No, I want it, I'll take it. He just took it. When we sent a few cows and to him. And after a week, I thought Ganga would be unhappy over there. And some of you come, they know Ganga very well. And she would be missing me. And he was opening the door. I said, hold on. She would jump on me. When I went, she didn't look at me. She looked and just stood there by. I went there calling her names and I petted her and hugged her. And she was absolutely cool. I thought she would be uncomfortable without me. She is comfortable without me. So that happens with human being also. Sometimes you think people will be in trouble, but they may not be. So then again, Gujarati passenger એનું જ હોય. આપણું લેવલ જુદું હોય એટલે આપણને એવું લાગે કે આ દુઃખી થાય, પણ એ પેસેન્જર ત્યાંનું જ છે. She is so happy in a forest life, And I had little apprehension because there are lions. When I went, I saw one kilometer away roaming around. It is right under Girnar Taleti. So they don't send the cows for grazing, and their person is always there when they go. So I again asked him, hey, you send her, but the cow herd is, these three are going. Swamiji, don't worry. None of our cows have been devoured by lions so far. And they've all covered this shed for the cows. So they are safest. But still, she was more happy in grazing in the forest than me worrying about her. There may be lions and the lions devour. It's common thing in the Gir forest. So coming back to this question, it's okay. Somewhere when you say it creates conflict in my vairagya, this is because I guess that you may have to restructure the script and restructure some of the roles. When you accept the role, some of the roles are unwarranted. We keep playing and don't personalize it. But this is, I see, karma sakti. Some of the senior citizens in India, I know, they don't leave the house because grandchildren are there at home. We have to take care of them. And the daughter-in-law comes and tells me, Swamiji, take them away so we can live our life for some time. I can bring the children the way I want. But they don't want to give up. Karma Sakti. I have to do. Some women have this. See, Vairagya is not only with karma phala. Karma also. When maybe having some dispassion with reference to bhogas, but after certain age, they have asakti for karmas. Some cleanliness. My God. So I have seen brahmacharis and brahmacharinis and swaminis in those while I was studying and staying in Rishikesh. I want this to clean. My room should be clean like that, and books should be like this, and food should be like this. And they end up spending 3 hours. And when Swamiji comes, there is a morning class, and I have to clean the room and clean everything. Then only my day should start. But other day, they can afford to do up to 8 o'clock before breakfast. But when the Swamiji has come and there used to be 7 o'clock class and 6:30 meditation, and so they have to come. I have to get up at 4 o'clock. And then what do? Go straight to Samadhi in meditation class. This is all karma. Leave it. Some very small things, even cleanliness is good. Shuchi is necessary, but that is karma. So people may have, some people I have seen, when they find it conflict into practicing vairagya, because so much of commitment to the extent of obsession that I have to do this, that ideal I, that ideal successful, socially successful I, that picture is so overbearing that you cannot prioritize your life. But so, just look into yourself whether do you have this asakti for attachment for certain karmas. Yes, then restructure the very roles and restructure the script. And remember, you can never ever satisfy the expectations of people unless they grow. Then they should grow that they don't expect anything. But they sometimes don't grow. They keep on leaning over more and more and then demanding, and you sometimes I was one who was gullible emotionally, and you keep on giving in, and that becomes sometimes too much for you. It creates conflict both the ways, hurt all the way, because I couldn't satisfy, and a conflict that I can't do what I want to do or what I wish should have been done. So please restructure. I think that's enough. There's something can be said, but some other time. So tomorrow will not be the class, and we'll see you on Saturday, on Guru Purnima day. That happens to be 24th. So 24th evening, and as US 24th morning, we will have class. But 23rd evening US and 24th morning India time, we will have some Guru Puja, Paduka Puja, Puja Swamiji. Swamiji himself has given to me, and I have one, and some puja we'll do in the temple. So we'll be seeing, you can see that on social media. We'll send you the link once it is evolved, and we'll have class on next Saturday and Sunday, 24th and 25th at the same time. But one more extra thing for you, that will be 24th, 33rd evening, Friday evening, you can watch Guru Puja online. Namaste. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Namaste.